Thank you very much. It's nice to see everybody. It's a beautiful day. What are you doing in here? It's nice outside today. Anyway, it's very nice to see everybody, and thank you for showing up. It's very kind of you. Anyway, I'm glad that maybe this is my third time in Tennessee, I think. I remember the last time I was here, I remember going to a blues joint. Yeah. You guys have the best music in the world, I guess, in America, just about. So it's are we going to a blues joint today?
Not tonight, no.
No, okay.
Just a regular restaurant with food.
Oh. He's a steak eater. I'm not a big steak eater.
I promise they'll have fish for you.
He's gonna turn into a steak.
So Billy, let me introduce you to Hayden. Hayden, this is Billy Dee Williams.
Hey, Hayden. Hey, Hayden.
Yes, sir.
Oh, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Mr.
Thank you.
So he's going to be our sabak player with you. So Mom, you can come up close now and watch. I'm going to put the mic down and talk as loudly as I can because I can't do two things at once here. All right, so we're going to shuffle your cards up. Unlike the dealer. Okay? So this is very simple. It's going to be highest card takes the deck, or the trick, and the idea is the more tricks you get, then you go home with the Falcon, unless you have that magic sabak card. So let's hope that Hayden has it. You guys take your cards, and you can look at them and see what we're doing. And since Hayden is our guest, we're going to allow Hayden to go first. And Hayden, make sure that you don't flash your cards at Billy or Lando, because you know he might be looking over your shoulder here to try to one-up you. He kind of does that in the Star Wars universe. So, what would you like to play first? Put it here. All right, we have a King of Hearts. Billy, what are you going to play?
I think it's over for you, kid.
No lost love.
Not quite.
What's he going to do? Notice how he hit his cards after you got to look at them. He played the Queen of Clubs, so he's letting you have that first round. Excellent. Play another one, buddy. You're winning so far. The pressure is now off. Here is a Jack of Hearts. Lando, how are you going to beat a Jack of Hearts? Maybe. You can let him have it again, too. Just so you know, he plays dirty. Huh? Queen of Spades. Oh, you lost that one. It's neck and neck now. One for Lando, one for you. Go ahead. Play another one, Hayden.
Let's go, Hayden.
Your mom's your cheerleader. Did you hear that? She wants you to win. Now, Jack of Clubs. Jack of Clubs. What can we do with the Jack of Clubs, Mr. Williams? Queen of Hearts, he's beating you. I don't get this. Come on, play a high card. Play a high card. If you have the Sabbath card, don't play it. You save it to the end and go, haha. Play it. Okay, better. King of Clubs. All right. He's got to have this one, right? Got to have it. You got it. Jack of Diamonds. Perfect. There you go. Neck and neck. Do another one, Hayden. Another big one. Let's see if you can do it again. Queen of Diamonds. That's a good one. That's a good one. Queen of Diamonds. Queen of Diamonds. Lando will play. It's looking good. 10 of Hearts. You're on a roll, Hayden. Come on, buddy. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. Maybe you should go to Vegas tomorrow. King of Diamonds.
Go,
King of
Hayden.
Diamonds. Go, Hayden. Go, Hayden. You think you got him?
He's doing a lot better.
10 of spade clubs. You're working it. You're working it. We need that magic Sabbath card. Okay. Play the next one. Here we go. We're getting close. 10 of diamonds. That might be... Oh, a draw. I like that. Nobody gets it. 10 of spades, 10 of diamonds. So I'll keep that one. How's that? Okay. Moment of truth. Jack of spades. So you didn't have the Sabbath card. That ain't good. But let's see what Lando has. Because, I mean, you know, he wants to go home with the... What the hell is that? What is that?
Joker.
cheated. Hayden, do me a favor. Go over to Mr. Williams' pocket. No, you cheated. I know you did. Because I didn't give this kid this. Go in his upper right pocket and see if there's something in his pocket, on his chest. Is there something in there? Look at that, that's the Sabbath card. Man, oh man. You had to see it coming that Lando was going to cheat, right? But guess what? For being such a good sport, we can't send you home with the Falcon, but Billy's going to autograph for this, and you get to go home with it. And then you do me a favor, come stand over here, right here, crouch down. Mom, make sure you get a still photography of that. That's your big moment. Give it up for Hayden. Thank you for playing along. Okay, Mom, that's enough. Thank you. Put the camera away now. All right. Hayden, go this way for me down the stairs and watch your step. Perfect. All right. Awesome sauce. So, as you guys saw in that video, was very small clips of things that this man has done in an illustrious over 60-year career. Try to put a little splash of everything in there for you, but I know Star Wars is huge. Do note I put things in there like Robot Chicken and Lego. That's because this man was Lando in everything. The radio dramas, the Lego movies, literally every time you hear his voice, the video games, it's always Billy. Except this one time in a film that we don't talk about. But aside from being an amazing actor and an award-winning artist, we now have a new credit to add to this gentleman's body of work. He is a New York Times bestsellers author with his autobiography, 100 Here, Portraits of a Life. So Billy, what's it like to be an author on the New York Times bestsellers list?
I spent 2.5 years on this thing, and it was a very interesting experience. You know, when you start revealing things about your life, it's a kind of a dual kind of experience. You know, you want to say things, and then you get really excited about talking about a lot of interesting things. This book has a lot of interesting things. Since I was a boy, I grew up in New York City, and my sister and I had a twin sister, and it was really a wonderful, beautiful, extraordinary in many ways experience. I had the opportunity to be exposed to a lot of interesting things at a very early point in my life. So I decided, since I'm 87 years old now, I might as well to talk about my legacy, so to speak. And you know, I just really wanted to, I don't know what happens I guess when you reach a certain stage in life, you just want to kind of talk about, I don't know if it's because you feel like you've been misunderstood, or what is it?
Well, I don't know, I'm not an author, but...
And you're not 87.
That's true too.
Yet. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of let people know there are interesting things going on sometimes with people like me in show business. I guess most people in show business are pretty interesting people.
But not all of them are willing to share.
Yeah.
You have a lot of amazing stories.
But since I was, I started show business when I was 6.5 years old on Broadway in a musical. And I work with some of the most interesting and most extraordinary people in this business in life. So anyway, I decided to put this little tale together
When you were writing the book for 2 years, Billy, was there anything that, as you were going through the stories in your head, that you had forgotten about, and then it came to you and went, oh, that's going in the book for sure?
Well, there are lots of stuff, I guess, you know.
I wanted you to point something out so that people would get excited and buy the book.
Well, at an early stage in my life, I worked with people. Most of you probably have no idea who any of these people I'm about to mention are. Well, I remember once meeting Edward G. Robinson. I was doing a play on Broadway with Laurence Olivier's wife, with Joan Plowright and Angela Lansbury. I was about 22, I think, 22 or 23 years old. And I did a play called The Taste of Honey. And so, to have opportunities to sit and have great conversations with people like Paul Muni. That was my first movie, The Last Angry Man. And then to spend time having conversations with Laurence Olivier. And at a very young age, to have those kind of experiences was very, very valuable to me.
And I think if people buy the book today, which we have at the booth.
But then there's my mommy and my daddy. Mommy and daddy were really wonderful people. So I'm very proud to say that I'm from a working class family. They were wonderful people to be around and to be exposed to.
The book is filled with these stories that he wants to tell you all. He's got pictures of his family life and his films. So it's an amazing, another piece of
But
art.
even, spending time with Brando, Jimmy Baldwin, it was a kind of rarity about those experiences. And then, of course, as far as my painting is concerned, I went to one of the finest art schools in New York City, the National Academy of Design for the Fine Arts, where I spent 2 years under painting on a scholarship, and was nominated for, when I was about 19, I was nominated for Guggenheim, and but I won a Hallgarten, which is comparable to a Guggenheim. But one of the Smithsonian owns one of my paintings. The Schoenberg in New York owns one of my paintings. The Kansas City Jazz Museum owns a piece of mine. So painting has always been very much a part of my life, and as well as this thing called acting. But it's all been very interesting. It's been an adventure, to say the least.
For those of you who are unaware with the Hallgarten and the Guggenheim, those are the Oscars, basically, of the art world. So it's a very high honor to be blessed with those accolades, certainly. I think Billy would probably, if I begged him, I bet I don't have to beg him. When he was 6.5 years old and he started off on stage, he actually still remembers his lines. Why don't you give the audience a little taste of that?
Make way for the Duchess, for her grace that touches. Make way for the Duchess, for her regal Duchess. And then I'd come back on stage with a message from the Duchess. Message from the Duchess, from her grace the Duchess. Message from the Duchess, from her regal Duchess. I was an adorable little boy.
So, if you guys would like to see more of his artwork, you can go to his website.
I also did an album, too. I did an album.
Wait, can we do one thing at a time? The website first.
Well, you got me going here.
I know, well, we'll get, tell them the website.
No, I get what website?
to see your
My
art.
website.
Your website, yes.
I don't know, what is my
It's
website?
very hard, sir.
Billy
No,
D.
that one.
Billy Dee Williams.
.com.
.com.
Yes, exactly.
I don't know, all this technology stuff, I'm not really
It's,
very
yeah.
good with.
So go there, look at some art. We actually have one of his pieces hanging at our booth as well. He did a piece about The Empire Strikes Back, which you can buy at our booth. And but no pressure. We also have the books for sale, but now finish, because I know people want to hear about the album that if you poke around on
I did an
Amazon,
album
you
in
can get.
1970, and, what was it, 61, called Let's Misbehave with Billy Dee Williams. You know the song A Taste of Honey? Nobody knows The Taste of Honey.
Well, one person said yes. That guy knows it. There you
Okay.
go.
And yeah, that was the first to ever sing that song on stage, actually. So as a result of that, I ended up doing this album called, as I said, Let's Misbehave with Billy Dee Williams. You know. But all of this stuff is always so funny to me. I mean, I laugh at myself a lot. You know, I always call myself a walking absurdity, which gives me a lot of room to be aware, to understand. I'm being abstract now. To understand. I don't think I will ever reach a point where I would ever call myself a wise man. Wisdom is not something that I have really experienced yet. I'm still like a little kid trying to figure it all out, even at this stage. Anyway,
Aside from the aches and
Oh,
pains, you don't
boring.
feel like an old man.
what?
Aside from the aches and pains, you don't feel like an old man.
I guess sometimes I do. I don't know what I feel. You know, I just,
Thank you for going with me on that path.
I'm just trying to enjoy it. And just, you know, I just want to enjoy life. I want to smile a lot instead of frown a lot.
So
I want to enjoy everybody, all, you know, wonderful people. It's always nice to do this, traveling around and doing these Comic-Cons, because I get a chance to meet the people who've been really very important to my life and my career. And so it's my way, my opportunity to say thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you. We have a gentleman in the audience who's going to. We have a gentleman in the audience who's going to walk around with a microphone right here to get your questions. So put your hands in the air. What's your name, sir?
Ben.
You just lost your friendship.
So many tens of thousands of us have asked you for autographs throughout the years with different messages of things that were personal to us. If you could write something specific, just to put out there to the universe, autographing anything, what would that message be?
I love you.
You're in the running. Okay, you pick. I don't
Sure,
know.
I'm gonna go right here.
Awesome. What's your
Stand
name?
up, please.
What's your name, sir?
Bradley. In your book, you talk about your love for Duke Ellington, and you wrote a script for a movie of his life, and you said you put it on the shelf. Is there any way that we're ever going to see that work come to fruition?
I'm done. No, I always wanted to do Ellington's life. I thought I was the best person to do that kind of a character. And I met Ellington a couple of times in my life. The first time I met him was a friend of mine was a managing editor for a newspaper in New York, in Harlem. Al Duckett, who was a wonderful writer, a wonderful poet. He gave a reception for Ellington. I was about 18 years old at the time, I think. And this was a big room like this. It was filled with all of these ladies waiting for Ellington. And Ellington was very charming. In fact, he used to compete with his father to see who was most charming. They evidently had a lot of fun with each other. Anyway, all of these ladies were waiting for Ellington. And it was really interesting. When he came into the room, and it was wall to wall, these ladies, and he made each woman feel like she was the only woman in the room. And I thought, wow. That was incredible. The second time I met him, I wanted to tell him how much I wanted to do his life story. I met him in Vegas when I was under contract to Berry Gordy, who started Motown, and it was right after I did Lady Sings the Blues. And I really wanted to say to Ellington how much I really admired him and how much I wanted to. And I thought I was the only one who really understood his kind of sensibility, that kind of an old-fashioned kind of charm. But I never, he was very interesting. He just sat there. I sat in his dressing room, and he waited for me to say something. I didn't know what to say. He never asked me to leave. He never prompted me to explain why I did not leave his room. He just sort of waited. And so finally I just got up and left. But anyway, he was extraordinary. But that's the other thing too. As far as musicians are concerned, I met some really, really incredible people like Clark Terry. I don't know if you know who Clark Terry is. He was one of the great jazz from the bebop era. In fact, when I end my book with Chandelier, baby, that's an old kind of from Lester Young came up with that expression. He was one of the great saxophonists. And Clark and I used to sit, and he sort of, he talked about his experience. I was much more interested in his experiences as from that era, that bebop era. You know, I grew up in that during those years, you know, from the swing, God, Jesus, from swing to playing the little clubs. They were fun years. It was really interesting meeting all of those guys. Well, my wife was married to, he just passed away, Wayne Shorter. He was one of the greats. But Joe Zawinul, I mean, when you spend time with those kind of guys, it's really amazing, really amazing. Anyway.
Go to the young kids over here.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
get some questions from them.
Absolutely. Would you like to stand up? Come on, stand up.
What's your name, buddy?
Lachlan.
Hey,
Yeah.
are you mad at me? Did I do something wrong?
Is this your first year at ICCC?
The what?
Is this your first year here?
Is this your first year here at the ICC convention?
Yes.
This is his first year at the ICC con. Do you have a question?
Generally, years for a period of time, I'd always have a little kid admonish me about betraying Han Solo. So I was waiting for it. Not me, Lando.
Lachlan doesn't know what to do with that information. Lando is happy that you did not accuse him of betrayal. That's the point, buddy.
Yeah.
So you did good. Thumbs up. Yes, go ahead.
Right here, come on, stand up, please.
What's your name?
My name's Sebastian. I'm Lachlan's brother.
Oh, okay.
I heard that during that Sarlacc pit scene, you actually got hurt. Is that true?
Yeah, I got a, what do you call it?
Squib.
Squib in my foot. Yeah, but, Harrison was supposed to save me at that moment, you know. And he was acting so much that I was yelling, I'm hurt, I'm hurt. And he was so involved with his character. And he was acting up a storm. And he just got completely involved in what he had to do. But anyway, yeah, I did get squib.
Squib. Special effect
Yeah.
explosion thing.
In my foot. Yeah.
How long were you out?
Acting is not an easy work.
How long were you out, Billy? A day for that?
No, I continued.
The show must go on. See
Yes,
that?
the show must go on.
Good question. Go ahead.
We got one. Okay, let's get this handsome gentleman here.
What's your name, sir?
Lando.
I'm shocked.
Not hardly.
Hello. In the Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings, how much did you practice baseball? Was that a natural for you, playing baseball?
Well, when I was a kid, I played a little baseball. I played for a junior Yankee team in New York, called the Brown Bombers. So as a kid, I played a considerable amount of baseball, but certainly when we did the Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings, we went into training, you know, so that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that, especially working with those the Negro baseball players of the 30s and 40s. It was really educational. And back in those years, the stuff that we did in the car with throwing the ball to the ground and having it ricochet back, I mean, there was no CGI on that. It was a real deal. Those guys are amazing, amazing.
If you guys haven't seen that film, you should check it out because it is really good.
Oh, it's a classic.
It's really good. I know they said we had to be pretty tight, but I'm gonna go, because we were late, I'm gonna go a little late, and Michael said that was okay. So let's get some more questions going. I'll let you decide.
I'm gonna come right here. Just stand up, please.
What's your name, sir?
Adam, people call me Chitwood. They call me Chitwood, that's my last name. Yeah, I don't ever go by my first name.
You were the gentleman, you were in the armed forces, right?
Yeah, retired Navy.
Thank you for your service. Thank you to everyone in this audience who defends our nation.
So, grew up a Star Wars kid, I grew up a comic kid, and then when you got to play Harvey Dent, I was like, yes, Lando's gonna be Harvey Dent, which means he's gonna be Two-Face, and then the rug kind of got pulled out from that. Who would have done it better, you or Tommy Lee as Two-Face?
Well, I'm a big fan of Tommy Lee Jones. He's one of my favorite actors. So, for me, he always does a credible job as an actor. But I would have brought something different, and I wanted to do it. John Roberts wanted me to play Harvey Dent in the district. I think what happened was that the Japanese, I think Sony, bought out the rights to that franchise. So I don't think they used anybody from that first movie, did they?
Yeah, no, everything changed hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bert, it was
But
better
I was
with Bert.
looking forward to it.
Well, you know, he did get to play Two-Face in the Lego movie.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
if you guys
that's
are
the
comic
irony
fans,
of this wonderful life experience.
if you guys are comic fans, they did a Batman '89 continuation, and Billy as Two-Face is in the comic book. So we actually have those for sale at the booth also. Let's keep going.
I'm coming right over here. This young lady always has a fantastic
Oh, that's
question.
Mom. Hi, Mom.
Thank you. Hi. Hello. I am a huge fan. Like my entire childhood, I watched you in so many different movies. Lady Sings the Blues, Mahogany, Brian's Song, like all of that. And when I saw you as Lando, I was immediately like just obsessed. I'm like, this is fantastic. So in your book, you talked about how you were, how you were connected with Langston Hughes and with James Baldwin. So how much of an influence did they have on you to encourage you to think outside of the box? Because Lando with the cape, like, come on, like you were an icon immediately and so out of the box from what we have experienced. So how much did they pour into you? And also how much did you pour into them? Because I know it was reciprocated.
Well, it was reciprocal for sure. By the way, you're raising a very fine young man.
Thank you.
He has quality.
Yeah.
But as far as those experiences with Jimmy and Langston and all of those people, I learned a lot from them. Because, I'm really an individual. I'm one of those followers of the whole idea of being an individual or individualism. I'm not a follower. I'm not a person that's interested in joining. I tried joining situations where protest situations, and I always found that I was always very dissatisfied, only because I always feel like everybody wants to be boss. And in those groups, these little groups that end up, protesting everything. Not that it's wrong to protest. I think for a lot of people, it's I guess a wonderful way to live their life. But I don't live my life that way. I guess I'm kind of I like being around people, but I like being by myself and just sort of coming up with what I perceive as interesting ideas. I'm always looking to be innovative, I suppose. And when I did Lando, when I heard Calrissian, I said, my goodness, Calrissian, that's interesting. What can I do with that? I found out it was an Armenian name. I said, whoa, let me play with that idea. And then when I got the cape, I was thinking Errol Flynn. So the combination of the two, so I came up with this whole point of view that this guy is he's beyond all of these questions we find ourselves admired in, as far as, racial differences and all that sort of stuff. I'm not really interested in that kind of stuff. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just not into all of that. I'm always looking to make things bigger than life, which to me makes it much more interesting.
Let's see if we can squeeze in two. One for sure, maybe two. How about the young lady over here?
Certainly. You stand up, please.
What's your name, sweetheart?
Hi, I'm Nilda. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. So my only question for you is if Donald Glover was actually allowed to produce the standalone Lando film, would you love to be part of that?
Well, when I think of Lando, I only think of me. I don't know. I created the character, so and I wanted to make him really different and unique. I don't think of anybody else really. I mean, not Donald Glover is a very talented young man, extraordinarily talented, and especially musically, he does interesting stuff. He's very innovative. But when it comes to Lando, hello, what have we? Yeah, not everybody has that kind of charm.
The one and only original. Let's do one more question, I think, before we get thrown out of here.
Let's do right here at the front. Just stand up, please.
What's your name, sir?
Andrew. So you mentioned earlier in the talk that once you reach a certain age, you have this desire to have other people understand you. With such a long and storied life and career, how did you decide what to include in the book, and how did that desire to be understood affect what you selected?
Well, there's so much to talk about, you know, and I started one book. I'm still working on it. It's just about finished. But I started working on it for about 25 years ago. And it's a coffee table book. It's my life being told through my paintings. Very interesting idea. And my paintings, I'm a good painter. So that's something since I've had the success with this one, my intention is to do this coffee table book. So writing is something that I've been doing all of my life, really. You know, one way or another. I was always documenting things. But I don't know, you know, my whole life revolves around creativity. So it's always been, if I was not writing, I'd be painting. If I wasn't painting, I was acting. And the rest of it, I was messing around with a lot of ladies. And I love women. I love women. As crazy as you ladies are. I love you.
That's a good note to go on. I'm going to give you a pin for that because you got his brain spinning. And Sebastian, I want you to come up and get one for the Sarlacc pit. And Ben, the quote thing was interesting. Who? Ben? Oh, he left? How did he know he was going to win? Am I okay to give it to this guy to give to Ben? You all know him? He's shady. All right, there you go. If Ben comes to me later and asks where it is, you're in a lot of trouble. Thank you, guys. Give it up. Coolest man in the galaxy, Billy Dee Williams!
Stay well, everybody. Bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Billy Dee Williams. Derek Mackey. Mr. Billy Dee Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up at 2 p.m., we have a Kenner Designers Roundtable panel. I will be on stage with Jim Swearingen, Tim Epler, Tom Osborne, and Freddie Thoman. You won't want to miss it if you love the Star Wars Kenner action figures. We're going to talk about life and the